we're breaking down the recent wave of youth-led protests that are happening all over the world.
So is this really a new global revolution? Or is there something else going on here?
Okay, so it all kicked off with this huge wave of protests led by Gen Z. We've seen it pop up all across Asia, in places like Bangladesh,
all the way to Latin America, with big protests in Mexico and Peru.
And it's not stopping there. It's also gaining steam across Africa.
So what's the common thread here? Well, the grievances are surprisingly similar. It really boils down to inequality, economic anxiety, corruption, and civil liberties.
Take Serbia, where corruption kills became the rallying cry after a deadly building collapse.
In Argentina, it was austerity cuts to universities that sparked huge demonstrations.
And in Morocco, people were angry about World Cup spending over basic public services. So what's pouring fuel on the fire? You could call it the digital megaphone.
Just how fast can this happen? Well, in Nepal, a protest started on Discord.
It kicked off with just about 1,000 members.
A few hours later, it exploded to over 200,000. Wild.
Okay, but is any of this really new? Let's zoom out for some perspective.
You know, this looks a lot like the student protests in France back in 1968.
The tools have changed, for sure. But the core generational tensions, not so new.
So what's next? Do these protests just fizzle out, or do they grow?
Well, their success really hinges on public support, funding, and how governments react.
So it's not just about a revolutionary spirit. It's tech amplifying really old problems. Is this just a symptom of instability, or the start of something much, much bigger?